Have you ever considered that choosing solitude after 75 might actually be a sign of true wisdom in a life well lived? As we grow older, it's natural to feel a bit of societal pressure to always be around others, or to fear the quiet moments spent in our own company. But here's the truth. You could be entering a stage of life far more blessed and fulfilling than the world would have you believe. Music. In this video, we're exploring 5 specific blessings that come to those wise enough to live alone in their later years. Even if you don't yet see it as a desirable path, each blessing reveals how a life of solitude goes far beyond the usual misconceptions about loneliness. Stick around until the end, because you'll discover how these blessings not only boost your confidence, but might just change the way you view your future and your own worth forever. Now let's begin. Number 1, complete personal freedom. A clear sign that you're entering a truly wise phase of life is if you find yourself deeply appreciating the total personal freedom that living alone provides. Music. This can show up in many small ways, like waking up whenever your body feels ready, eating exactly what you crave without compromise, or lingering over a book in utter silence for as long as you like. If you notice this kind of appreciation, music, it's a strong sign that you're finally putting your own soul ahead of the constant demands and expectations of others. Older people often feel drawn to the comfort of their own routines, since these habits can bring a sense of security and true control over their environment. The way you manage your daily schedule says a lot about how much you've come to value your own autonomy. Take Robert, for example, a 78-year-old man who spent his whole life catering to the needs of a large family and a demanding accounting career. Music. He initially feared the silence of his home once he reached his late 70s. But soon he discovered he could finally listen to his own thoughts without interruption. This reflects a deeper level of self-respect and an understanding that your time is the most precious asset you have left. It's not about being selfish, isolated, or trying to avoid the world through exaggerated withdrawal. What truly makes your later years appealing is your ability to feel at home in your own skin, radiating a quiet self-assurance that comes from knowing you are the master of your own domain. Music. People naturally gravitate toward those who are grounded and content, sensing they've reached a level of maturity where they no longer need external permission to exist. So, if you find yourself enjoying the ability to make every single decision for yourself, it may well be because you recognize your inner strength and the profound blessing of true music. Independence. Number 2, enhanced emotional resilience. Another significant sign that you're growing in wisdom is when you begin to experience a remarkable level of enhanced emotional music resilience, something that only develops in the quiet of your own space. While many believe that living alone makes a person more fragile or prone to sadness, the reality is that solitude offers the perfect environment to process your emotions' music with total honesty and depth. This might show up in your life as a reduced need for external validation, a calmer response to life's inevitable challenges, or even an unexpected sense of joy that rises from within for no particular reason at all. Many people in their 60s and 70s assume they need a constant social circle to stay emotionally stable. But the truth is, the most resilient individuals are those who have learned to be their own best friend and primary support system. Consider Barbara, an 81-year-old woman who has lived alone for several years since her children moved to different states. She used to worry that her emotional health would decline without daily conversations, but she found that her time alone allowed her to face her fears and memories with a strength she never knew she had during her busier years. This reflects a deeper level of psychological growth music that remains available to you as long as you give yourself the space to listen to your own heart. You don't need to be a philosopher or a spiritual leader to achieve this kind of inner balance. What makes you truly appealing and magnetic to others? Music is your ability to remain steady and composed, projecting a wisdom that others find deeply comforting. When you prioritize your emotional health by embracing stillness, you are essentially building a fortress of peace that no external event can easily shake. This level of care for your inner world shows that you value your experiences and your ability to remain a grounded presence in the lives of those you choose to interact with. If you find yourself feeling more at peace and less dependent on the moods of others, it's a clear sign that your solitary lifestyle is giving music you a blessing of strength that many will never understand. If you're still watching and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 2 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us keep creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's continue. Number 3, cultivated intellectual clarity. If you consistently notice that your mind feels sharper and your ability to focus on your interests has reached a new peak, that's a clear sign you are enjoying the blessing of cultivated intellectual clarity. Many older adults find that the constant noise of a busy household or a demanding social life can clutter the mind and make deep thought or meaningful hobbies difficult. Music, but for those who choose to live alone after 75, the brain is given the gift of a distraction-free environment where it can truly flourish and expand. Music, this is especially true for those of us who have spent a lifetime learning and growing. Our later years offer the perfect opportunity to synthesize all that knowledge into true wisdom. A person who takes time to feed their intellect and pay attention to the details of their interests is seen as someone who understands the value of lifelong learning, which is very attractive to those around them. Consider Thomas, a 79-year-old retired high school history teacher. He noticed that his passion for reading and writing became much more intense and satisfying when he had hours of uninterrupted time in his favorite chair by the window. Thomas realized that his mind was music, not just slowing down, but actually becoming more refined and capable of seeing connections he had missed during his younger, more chaotic years. This demonstrates your attention to inner mental growth and your understanding that being alone is not a state of emptiness, but a state of profound mental abundance. Your ability to maintain a sharp and curious mind adds layers to your overall appeal as a wise and grounded individual fully in control of your intellectual journey. Music, it's not just about having more information. It's about the confidence that comes from knowing your mind is a vibrant, active place you enjoy visiting every single day. Moreover, the attention you give to your mental health shows you take pride in yourself and your long-term cognitive resilience. This level of care is something many people find incredibly appealing, as it signals that you care not only about the past, but also about your ability to engage with the present and the future with clarity and strength. Number 4, authentic social connections. When you start to notice that your relationships with others have become more meaningful and authentic, music, even though you see people less often, it's a clear sign you are gaining deeper wisdom through your solitude. While it's easy to focus on the number of social interactions, the true blessing of living alone is that it allows you to be much more selective about whom you invite into your space and your life. If you find you're no longer willing to tolerate superficial conversations or toxic dynamics, it's a sign that your system is prioritizing quality over quantity in a way that protects your energy and your heart. The setting in which we interact with others often provides the context for how much we value our own company. For example, Linda, 76, found she enjoyed her weekly lunch with her 2 closest friends far more than the large, noisy parties she used to host. She used to feel an obligation to be around people constantly. But as she embraced her solitary life, she realized she only wanted to spend time with those who truly understood her and made her feel seen. By choosing to prioritize authentic connections, she stayed more energized, and her overall sense of belonging reached a new peak built on truth rather than social performance. This subtle but significant change showed a curiosity and admiration for her own worth that her friends and family began to notice and respect. What makes this realization so telling is that it often comes from a deliberate moment of observing how much better you feel. When your social time is spent with intention, it shows you are intrigued by the possibility of living with integrity and willing to make choices that support your emotional well-being. Whether you choose to meet a friend for a quiet walk or join a small community project, it shows a deeper commitment to your own standards. You should recognize that this selective approach to social life is not a sign of being grumpy or difficult. Music, it is a direct result of the respect you show yourself every day. If you're still watching and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 4 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell, so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us keep creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's continue. Number 5. Profound spiritual fulfillment. One of the most vital signs that your solitary life is a true blessing is if you find that your sense of spiritual fulfillment and inner peace has reached a depth you never thought possible. Music, for many seniors, the later years are a time for reflecting on the meaning of life and our place in the universe. And this journey is most effectively taken in the quiet presence of the self. Yet those who live alone after 75 are building a sanctuary of spiritual integrity music that keeps them grounded and unafraid of the passing of time. This can show up in how you find beauty in the smallest things, like the way light hits your kitchen floor at 10 a.m., or the simple joy of breathing fresh air on your porch. Music, if you notice this kind of spiritual awareness, it's a strong sign that your soul is finally finding the rest and connection it has been searching for your entire life. Older individuals often feel drawn to the idea that they must stay busy to be significant. But the truth is, our greatest significance is found in the quality of our internal presence. For instance, Arthur, 83, has found that his daily practice of quiet reflection and gratitude has transformed his view of aging from a period of loss into a period of harvest. Music, he found that even as his physical body slowed down, his spirit felt more expansive and more connected to the world around him than ever before. This reflects a deeper level of how our hearts respond to the gift of silence, maintaining a sense of wonder and peace exactly where it is most needed to navigate the final stages of our journey. It's not about being a religious scholar or trying to achieve a specific state of enlightenment through exaggerated rituals. What truly makes you resilient and magnetic is the steady, daily reinforcement of your own spiritual foundation, projecting a quiet self-assurance that you are at peace with the world and with yourself. People naturally gravitate toward those who exude this kind of inner light, sensing they have a reliability and wisdom built on decades of lived experience. So if you feel a sense of profound contentment in your own presence, it may well be because you have discovered the ultimate blessing of the solitary life. Final thoughts as we wrap up this exploration of why those who choose to be alone after 75 are truly wise. Take a moment to reflect on the blessings we've shared today. What stood out to you the most as you thought about your own life and the choices you make for your peace of mind? There is something uniquely reassuring about the presence of an experienced individual who has learned that the greatest source of happiness is not found in the noise of the world, but in the quiet of their own heart. We often feel comfort and trust when we see others taking charge of their aging process with such grace and wisdom. Younger men and women, while vibrant and full of energy, may not yet have the same depth of insight you have cultivated through your many decades of lived experience. People recognize that you have walked a path that requires courage and self-respect, and this history makes you a source of knowledge and a beacon of hope for everyone you meet. One of the most attractive qualities in a mature person is the ability to be comfortable in your own skin and confident in the relationship you have built with yourself over time. This natural confidence is magnetic and cannot be faked. It draws people in because they can sense your authenticity and inner strength. When you move through your day with the energy that comes from a life lived on your own terms, music, you don't need to command attention because your calm presence invites others to feel at ease. In your company, people are naturally drawn to this, sensing they can find inspiration in your steady, grounded energy. Your ability to simply be yourself, making choices that support your future while embracing your current season of life, becomes one of your most compelling features. Music, it's not about what you say or do, but how you make others feel valued, inspired, and encouraged by your commitment to living a life of depth and meaning. Thank you for joining us today. We'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below and share one thing you learned today and how you plan to use it in your life. Your thoughts matter to us, so please don't hesitate to share them. Reading your comments gives us great motivation and encouragement. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.